So we've got an ATV tire here. I'm putting on a rim for a TW200. It's seated completely on the other side, and this side there's just a stubborn part. So I've got it hooked up to a clip-on air chuck, and I'm going to put this over it in case it decides to blow up. At least somewhat in the direction that I'm working. And now I'm just going to dial in the pressure here. To 60. And as long as it doesn't blow up, I'm just going to leave it. It's about 90% seated. The last little bit that hadn't. And there it is. ATV tire mounted on a TW200. That's a 26/814 ATV tire with a original 180/8014 inner tube in it. The reason you use a 180/8014 original inner tube is to get the valve stem in the right place. Otherwise, it's going to be, if you use an ATV inner tube, it's going to be all screwed up. And I had that issue, and I had a steep learning curve there for me on that one. But saves you some time, because all you need is the original 180/8014 rear TW200 inner tube. I kind of mentioned it quick in the other video, but this tire was not wanting to beat up. A lot of people have issues. A lot of people have had luck on it and just got it without a whole lot of trouble. But I will say I struggled, and I took it to a shop, and they could not get it either. Pay them $30 to try and fail. So what I did was I just got a clip-on air chuck. I put the original 26/814, not the original, the ATV 26/814 inner tube in it. I inflated that to 60 psi inside this tire. So that's an ATV tube inside there to fill up a bit more space. I used a clip-on air chuck, and then I just used the regulator on my compressor to dial in that amount. And it was leaking because at that point my inner tube had torn a bit, because the valve stem comes off at an angle on the ATV inner tubes. But that didn't matter, because I just left it on 60 psi, and my compressor would cycle on and off as it needed to, and it left the inner tube inside this at 60, which after 5 days, 5 full days, there was 2 days at 20 psi, and then I bumped it up to about 60 psi for about 3 more days. That pressure stretched the side belts in that tire and allowed it to beat up. And after about 4 days, 5 days, I walked over to it and looked at it, and it beat it up. Of course, it was still leaking air because the inner tube inside was an ATV, and the valve stem just doesn't work. It comes off at an angle. It does not work. I don't know why the shop even did it. I asked them to do it, but I had no idea that there are different valve stems, so they put it on there and it was leaking. But once I got it home, after they gave up trying to get it to beat up, I got her to beat up, and then I took the tire back off, and I put the original 180/8014 in there, aired it up, and after that, the days of pressure sitting in that tire, that thing just beat it up like it was made for it. And so that's that. That is, and I have to say, I drove it last night. It is just a hell of a performance upgrade. I mean, look at the knobs on that thing compared to what you're used to running on the T-Dub up front. And I'm not taking credit for this. These are all things I've read online. Up front, I've got the rear tire from a KTM. It's a 130/80/18